Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Try to see if a few people get up in here before I start giving my opinion about the fights last night, man. Really good card, man. Really good card. But I know for my lives I don't have any rhyme or reason, and I'm pretty sure nobody's probably expecting me to go live. So like always, man, probably be another small crowd in here because I don't, like I said, have any rhyme or reason about my lives. I just pop up when I can. Uh, Stephen L. the Mac was good, bro. June Sports was good. See if a few more people show up. If not, that's all right. Hopefully, people will catch it on the replay, man. But interesting card yesterday, though, man. Very interesting card. Hopefully, we get more cards like that, especially with stacked heavyweight fights. You guys know I'm a huge fan of those Don King type of cards, and Eddie Hearn's been doing a pretty decent job, man, of keeping that alive, keeping cards stacked with heavyweights, at least three or four good heavyweight fights on the card. He does it really well with Joshua's card. So hopefully they keep going. St. Cruising, what's good, bro? He said, "Merry Christmas, brother." Same to you, man. The Celtic, he says, been a while since I've watched your lives. Appreciate you stepping in, man, and catching me. Uh, Man, what be the guy says? Well, he says, "What's good, my brother? Last night was great. Hoping it is a regular occurrence moving forward rather than one off." Yes, I'm glad that they got those guys because usually a car like that, man, I can easily see like Dubois and Miller headline the card at the O2. Wilder and Parker headline, at the Mandalay Bay in Vegas, and then AJ headline. So all those fights, man, could have been main events on different smaller cards. But I'm gonna go ahead and just start, man. First I'd like to say this: AJ Cabello probably, man, run for his money for a fighter of the night. That was well, no. First, let's go to Herkovich to start with that fight. Herkovich versus Demore. That fight should have never been made. And I said that even when this card was first announced. I'm just like, come on, man. Mark Demore. Last time I saw him, he lost in the first round to David Haye. Really never had any big wins like that. His closest claim to fame besides the David Haye fight was when he was with Don King and Bermane Stiverne was the WBC champion. Had Stiverne defeated Wilder, Demore would have been next in line for a voluntary defense, and that didn't happen because we know that Wilder beat Stiverne in that their first fight, well, and the second fight too, but the first fight. But anyways, man, Demore, he came in there. He did try to throw some. He threw a haymaker overhand right, and I think a left hook that actually caught Herkovic, but it had nothing on it. Herkovic walked through and got him up out of there. And even Herkovic didn't even seem overly enthused after the fight, not even going in the fight, man. I think, and he even said it, this was a stay busy fight, so he knew what the thing was. I think they just wanted to just to showcase him. He could be a possible opponent for AJ one day, maybe, or just a showcase fight, man. But they could have found somebody way more challenging than that. And I understand that he probably wants to you know uh, not mess up his IBF mandatory challenge and stay busy. But that was pathetic, though, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Uh, so after that, let's see. Oh, Sanchez and Fa lasted longer than I thought he would. I thought Sanchez was going to be a little bit more aggressive, but he's a counterpuncher by nature. So he waited until Fa got comfortable and got aggressive, and then he finally caught him. I think it was a right hand, dropped him. And then once he saw that he can hurt him, he dropped him. Then Sanchez started to step forward, and he was able to get rid of Fa. But that Cabello, though, man, he was piecing up Makhmudov. And throughout the whole week, I was getting annoyed, man, by the announcers and the interviewers talking about how scary this guy looks. I mean, they're talking to Cabello like he's some 10-year-old kid, uh, you know, talking about Jason or Freddy Krueger or something, man. They're just like keep talking about how scary he was or how scared that Makhmudov looked, and it was crazy, man. Because I'm like, dude, this dude's a professional fighter. He's not gonna be scared of this dude, man. He kept talking about how scary he was. Um, just I don't know, man. Just them bringing it up all week was just annoying. It was just annoying. Like, dude, these are professional fighters, man. Nobody's scared by the optics of him. Like, But if you guys watch my Keys to Victory, and I'm no trainer, right? I'm just somebody who's been watching the fight game for a long time. He pretty much did everything in my Keys to Victory, man, which was refreshing because he went to the body, he threw a combination when he had to, he didn't engage in a war. But there were some lapses in that Makhmudov fight where I was looking at Kabel like, man, don't sit there for too long, bro. Make your point with twos and threes, 2 and 3 punch combination, and then get the hell up out of there. Now, if you standing there with the 4, 5, 6, all Makhmudov need because he's very heavy-handed, just as one. And Cabello did a really good job, man. But um, I knew that he wasn't going to be overwhelmed by pressure because he's fought Chisora. Um, and Chisora's a guy who likes to bring the pressure. And I thought he did a good job in that fight of circling. And I know the dynamics between the two fighters, Makhmudov and Chisora, is a little bit different, but pressure is pressure. And he was able to handle it. Um, and Makhmudov leaving his, not moving his head offline. He just wasn't liking them body shots. And I seen it. Look, and Radinko is a tough guy, right? Some of you remember Radinko's name from the Jared Anderson fight. To me, Jared Anderson fought like the late, older version of Radinko, but Radinko was a tough dude, man, to fight 6, 7 years ago. And when Cabello dropped him with a body shot, that's when Radinko was standing up to Povetkin and all them, power punching dudes. So I knew that he can test the body, and I knew he was a good body puncher. So him hurting Makhmudov to his body didn't surprise me at all. Didn't surprise me at all, man. Now let's go to. I see you guys coming in here. The J Bruce Theory was what's up, bro. I don't want to lose my train of thought. I want to get all this off first. So then Dubois and Miller. Look, man, Dubois showed me a lot in this fight as far as his resilience and his toughness. Um, Throughout the week, I did think, like most of the time, Miller's going to get the best of the trash talking, but we know that fights aren't, you know, the results don't happen in the trash talking, happen in the ring. So he showed a lot of heart, man. Dubois did. I knew that Miller was going to be there to be hit, and he kind of has like that. I'm gonna bite down on my mouthpiece, put my high guard up, and just walk through everything that you throw at me. He kind of has that, and you can only live on that for so long, man. Especially if you can hit cleanly, and Dubois is a power puncher too. But it was weird in that fight because Dubois looked like he was gassing in about round 3 or 4. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be a wrap. And then he found that extra reserve, man. And there was a few times in the fight where it looked like he was on the brink, Dubois, the brink on gassing out. And then he was just find a second win. So he did a great job with that, man. But you expect the younger fighter, the hungrier guy, hungry as far as in the ring, hungrier guy than Miller. And Dubois knew, man, he 2 fights people have said that he quit. So he had more to lose in this fight, man, because another loss would have been very detrimental. Whereas Miller is just his one loss, you know what I mean? But he was running good combinations off. He showed toughness. There was parts where he was pushing Miller off of him and not letting Miller walk him back. But he let his hands go. He used his jab. He tied up when he needed to. Miller, especially later in the fight, man, looked like he had nothing on his punches, and he was trying to win exchanges by just using bravado. That doesn't hurt. Shaking his head when he gets hit. Bruce Gas, what's up, bro? Shaking his head when he gets hit that it doesn't hurt. That type of thing. Once I saw that, man, Daniel started taking control of the fight, and he really took control of the fight when he was using his jab. You know what I'm saying? So, good performance by Dubois. It's crazy, man, because listen to the commentators yesterday. And I know Tony Bellew was on the telecast or whatever, or doing some of the commentating throughout the night. A lot of these dudes were going against Miller because of his, being a drug cheat. But it's like, man, y'all got to make sure you're keeping the same energy for every fighter, though. I get it. Big Pharma, I know the jokes. How many steroids did he have in his body for the age? Look, I get all the jokes. They're funny and shit. Rightfully so. He should be made fun of if you're doing that. But just have that same energy for everybody, though. That's my only thing. Because yesterday, man, I was hearing stuff like, I want him out of the sport. This should be it for him. It's like, damn, bro, he lost one time. Like he lost one fight. Yes, he had drug testing issues, but a lot of these motherfuckers have testing issues, and they done lost 3, 4, 5 fights. Even though he hasn't tested positive for drugs, Derek Chisora walking around like, people want to see him. Like, dude, that dude done lost 13 fucking times or something like that, man, or close to something like that. Like, so it's funny how you want this one person out the sport, but then there's other people that test and you don't want them out the sport, or dudes that have lost 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 times. You don't want them out the sport. So I don't know, man. I guess it comes down to alliances and who these dudes are cool with. But I wouldn't mind seeing Miller back in the ring. Now, do I want to see him against fucking the winner of Usyk and Fury? No. But I would love to see him back in there with somebody. Dillian White, I think that'd make for a good fight. Shit, even AJ was joking around saying that Dillian White and Miller should fight each other. You know what I mean? So I would love to see that fight. The pressure would be crazy. But Jared Anderson, I think that'd be, Charles Martin. There's a few guys I would still like to see Miller fight on the undercard of a fight card, man. But Tony Bellew to me was taking a little bit out of control with I don't want to see him in the sport no more, good riddance and all this shit. It's kind of crazy, man. But anyways, man, Dubois took care of his business, did his thing. I don't have the sanctioning body rankings in front of me, so to me, man, him fighting anybody in the top 10 of a sanctioning body would be a good fight. All right. Now let's get to let's see. So we did those. Um, Parker, because I'm going over all the heavyweight stuff, man. So Parker and Wilder. All right. Wow. Wow, man. Bro, it looked like Deontay Wilder didn't even have a game plan. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. What I seen on the mitts with him and Malik Scott over the last, just seeing them work. Now I understand the mitts don't hit back, right? The bags don't hit back. But what I was seeing was a snapping, authoritative jab being used in all those mitt work uh, set sessions. Now, what I saw last night, he wasn't even committing to a hard snapping jab. He was kind of pawing, looking for the right hand. Pawing, looking for the right hand. Now, because a lot of people have different opinions, but I've seen Wilder lose plenty of rounds in plenty of different fights. Washington, Spilka, Ortiz, Fury. I mean, just plenty of rounds in different fights, right? Where he'll come back and get a knockdown or score the knockout. But at least in some of those fights, man, he was at least showing some type of a damn jab. He didn't throw no type of authoritative jab yesterday. And Parker was not scared. What I thought would get Parker caught leading into the fight was Parker likes to drop his hands and kind of lean his head back a little bit where he'll turn with the punch with his hands. And I thought he'll get caught because I didn't think he would get out of range. But he didn't go with that. He would just duck down under the right hand instead of leaning back and dropping his hands and kind of riding with the punch and turning his head. He would just drop down with a responsible guard. And he was looking for his own overhand right. And I think that's a punch that Wilder is susceptible to now, man. Is if you're fighting him and you just loop over a overhand right because he's 6'7". You know what I mean? He doesn't have the best head movement, looping overhands. And I saw it, and I was sitting there like, man, yo, if Parker lands clean, he gonna fuck around and knock Deontay out. And look, you can't take long layoffs like that, man, and expect you're just going to jump in the ring and just, knock people out, especially guys that are at world class level. It's just not going to happen like that, especially at 38 years old. I know they say the power is the last thing to go, but you at least got to set the power up, man. He's not setting it up at all. Um, I just think Wilder looks like a person, man, that he just seems like he's just content with his life. I know he's making like music and rap music or R&B music or something like that. He has all these ventures outside of boxing, which is dope, right? For fighters to, make their money grow in different avenues. But he just don't seem like he's really hungry no more. He just don't seem really hungry no more to me, man. And I'm gonna get back to what I saw in the fight, but I'm just speaking on the outside looking in, right? Like I don't know Wilder, I've never spoken to him, I'm not a part of his camp. Just outside looking in. Then another thing that made me scratch my head, and I turned and looked at my wife when I saw it. Wilder, when he started getting his hands wrapped yesterday, I noticed he had like a Gucci shirt on or something like that. And once I saw that, I was just like, I thought about what Marvin Hagler said about it's harder to fight when you get out the bed with silk sheets or silk pajamas or something like that. And that's what I thought of. I'm like, wow, man, getting his hand wraps. And now some of you may say, Mr. Boxing, that's nothing, man. Come on. What about when such and such got his hands wrapped in a designer shirt? But just think about that though, bro. You're wearing designer clothes, getting your hands wrapped. That's far from the hungry, the guy that I first was hearing talk when I first was introduced to Wilder back in the day. It's just different, man. It's just different. Um, just a different vibe. He just seems like he's in other things right now because that performance yesterday, dog. Like again, he didn't. It didn't seem like he had a game plan at all, besides just the right hand. And usually that is his game plan, but at least he'll set it up though with snapping jabs. He had no consistency on that jab at all, man. It was actually that was an easy fight for Parker. That was easy. That was probably gave Wilder the last round because he came out and he just tried to fight harder. I mean, 1 or 2 rounds, and that's being nice. But that was easy pickings for Parker, man. You got somebody world class. Only thing he has to worry about is staying away from the right hand. And then shit, when it did land, Parker took some of it. And it's funny because going into this fight, both guys at their worst in their other fights, like when Wilder, fighting Fury in fights 2 and 3, and then Parker fighting Joyce. Wilder's not going to bring that relentless pressure like Joyce. He doesn't fight like that. So Parker didn't have to deal with nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Parker get off, 2, 3 punches, and then usually when he wants to get out of range, that's when Joyce said, I ain't letting you get out of range and take these power punches while you're on your way out and forcing him to fight that type of fight, right? Wilder doesn't bring that. The same thing with because I was thinking too, like, man, what can Fury really tell Parker because of the size dimension? Well, Parker didn't bring the physicality that Fury brought, but guess what he did bring though? Just pressure by stepping to him. And that's something that I miscalculated when I was when I was trying to break down this fight. I forgot that just stepping to somebody with a high guard and just stand there and making a miss, that counts as pressure too. Probably not the physicality of Fury's pressure where he's stepping to him and he's mauling him. But hey, I'm gonna just step to you. I'm not gonna maul you, but I'm gonna step to you. I'm gonna make you miss. And damn it, I'm looking for my right hand too. I'm gonna give you something to worry about. And he gave Wilder something to worry about because what did Wilder do? He started moving or bouncing around and moving around. And I'm just like, nah, man. What I saw in those mitts with him and Malik Scott was hard 1-2s down the pike and then stepping back, but staying there and staying being a big man, but just stepping out of range and keeping distance. Hard 1-2, step out of range, but keep that distance. This was like a paw with the jab, the right hand, and then bounce around the ring. And then this is another thing. And I know, people make a lot of jokes and I'm not joking, man. I'm being dead honest, man. Because Wilder has created some crazy knockouts, right? You could say, oh, but Mr. Boxing it's against garbage competition. Okay, but highlight real knockouts, right? So his legs, I never really brought that up, but bro, he looked like very weak yesterday, just physically, just his physique. He just looked weak. Like his legs look even smaller yesterday. Like usually, Wilder generates his power from the torque and the twist, and he has shoulders, right? His back muscles. He just looked depleted yesterday, man. So no excuses. I'm just telling you what I saw, man. He just looked very weak in there yesterday. Very weak. Just physically, he looked weak. So, and Wilder after the fight said his timing was off. I just think Parker was the better fighter last night, period. But could his timing have been off? Possibly. But ring rust to do that to you when you're not active. And I know he's been training, but he hasn't been active. You know what I mean? So even though Parker hasn't been in there with world beaters with his activity, he's still active though, training for fights, not just, you get in the gym and just do a workout just to stay in shape. He's actually training for fights, right? But yeah, man, Wilder looked very weak in there yesterday, man. Uh, I don't know where he goes from here. Um, Usually I was picking Wilder to beat AJ in their fights based on styles, but one thing about Wilder styles is unorthodox. But I like Wilder when he's using a jab though, man. But this version of Wilder with no jab, and I know that I've said that AJ doesn't move his head offline. I can see him getting caught with a straight right hand right down the pike. But if there's no jab to disguise it, man, Joshua's going to keep a tight uh, defense. He might not move his head offline, but he's going to see it coming a mile away because he's not going to be blinded by a jab first. That's what I thought did get Wilder over on Joshua was the right hand, but him blinding him with the jab and AJ not keeping his head offline. But this version, Paul with my jab, throw a right hand that I'm off balance. Man, can see AJ knocking Wilder out with a left hand after he misses a right hand, or just walk into him and be physical with him. Because now I think guys are going to walk to Wilder now. I think they're going to walk to him. If they get hit with a right hand, so be it. But I think they're going to walk to him and try to rough him up. That's what if he continues to fight. You know what I mean? I see a few of you guys got up in here, but let me finish my thoughts, man. Um, then let's go to AJ and Wallen, right? People may say, "Oh, this was the easy fight, easy." Look, man, there's nothing easy about Wallen to me. Like he fought a very good fight against Tyson Fury. Shit, Fury won the fight, but he was in a bloodbath before he had to win the fight, and he gave him some problems in that fight. He beat Gassiev. He has a good win over Brazil. Like Wallen wasn't just some fucking scrub, man. He wasn't a scrub, dude. But AJ put it on him. AJ's familiar with him because they fought in the amateurs and they've sparred. A lot of these damn dudes are fighting people they sparred. All right, so Joseph Parker fought Razvan Kenjanu. Deontay Wilder fought Robert Helenius, and the fucking list goes on and on, right? But anyways, AJ went in there. He was very calm. He was very relaxed. He knew exactly what he was in there like he had a damn game plan. And the difference between this southpaw versus the Usyk southpaw was Usyk had better lateral movement, better head movement with his southpaw stance to make it tricky. It wasn't just the fact that he's left-handed. No, man. And AJ was winning the battle of the lead foot all night, and he was just putting it on Wallen, man. He was going to eventually knock him out, but landing clean, using his jab, won the outside foot battle. He was confident. The times that Wallen did get a left hand through, AJ stayed right there. He didn't get nervous and try to clinch and hold. Great performance by AJ, man. But Wallen to me is not a scrub, not because he quit on his or his corner threw in the towel. But I like to see Wallen back as well, man. Sometimes these guys lose fights, man, and especially when guys lose their first fight, people want to do away with him, man. Like I don't want to see him again, and I think that's just kind of crazy, man. But good night of fights. That's pretty much it, man. Like not really much else to say, man. Let me see. Let me go up here see what you guys are talking about. But that's really it, man. There's no need to be 5 hours long or anything like that. That's pretty much what I saw, man. Now going forward, if you ask me who's gonna win between Wilder and AJ, I'm picking AJ by knockout. I just don't see how that Wilder shit beats AJ. I don't see how that Wilder will even have a chance against Fury in the fourth fight. I don't see how he'll beat Zhang. He just looked really weak and depleted yesterday, man. He really did. Um, all right, let me see what y'all talking about, man. I'm gonna read y'all's comments, get through these, and I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Let y'all enjoy your Sunday morning. Let me see what y'all talking about real quick. Let me see. Warren says, was Wilder ring rusty? Um, he just like he didn't have a game plan, bro. I mean, he was in shape, how he's always in shape as far as his body. He got his weight down. He just didn't look like he had a game plan. Maybe his body's still trying to get back to where it was before he went up to what was he 237 for that third Fury fight. I know that was a couple years ago, but still, man, when you bulk up like that, even if you gradually lose the muscle, you're going to look a little different. Remember how Roy Jones, when he moved up to heavyweight, that was all muscle he put on to get up to 201 or however much he weighed that night, 198 or whatever when he fought John Ruiz. And I know it's a little different, right? It wasn't his very next fight for Wilder, but still, though, man, and then he's 38 too. Unlike he's, some young guy, man, he's 38. So he just looked very just weak yesterday, man. His legs look even skinnier than they usually look. He just is, it just, I don't know, man. I think it might be time for Wilder to hang it up, bro. HHU says Wilder is done. He looked like absolute trash. Eric Sway was good. What a difference lack of PEDs make. Surprise, surprise, coming in the ring 300 plus pounds is a bad idea. Yes, the first couple rounds it was a good idea until that weight turned against him when he couldn't get out of the way of nothing. He's too heavy. Especially his punching. I know you're talking about Miller, especially his punching. and he was just arm punching, and then to bring that punch back after you throw it, it just seemed like it was working against him yesterday, man. But the first couple of rounds, he had a good game plan, Miller. Bite down on the mouthpiece, put the high guard up, step to you no matter what you land, I'm gonna step to you, I'm gonna stay in your face, I'm gonna stay in your chest, I'm gonna make you rattle it until it didn't work. The J Bruce theory was good, bro. Yeah, you talk. You say yeah, they were so biased, man. That commentary was crazy, bro. Like Tony Bellew, man, that dude. Look, I know he's a former world champion. He's been in the ring. He can say what he want, but bro, like you, I mean, I thought he was tripping yesterday. The Celtic, just he says, my friend bought the show on the Zone here in the UK. I told him to go to TNT. He should have listened because it cut off halfway through the Wilder fight. I got it on the Zone here in the States, and it didn't cut off. But was it the AJ fight? It was either the Wilder or the AJ fight, man, where the sound cut off for like 4 rounds. I forget, man, but it was one of two of those fights where the sound went out. But I was glad because the commentary is garbage, man. You also say it's great that the fights were made, but I like the Saudis to host the shows in the West, if possible, because the atmosphere was dreadful for real. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking too, like, damn, man, like, it's just funny, man. I'm not sure your age, uh, the Celtic, but man, if you're like me, over 40, it's just funny how like everything has just changed, man. Right? Even when I first started coming on here on YouTube in what 2008, when I started watching, like Blood Boxing and D Style and all those guys, it's just and then when I start uploading videos in '09 and 2010, it's just funny. Like there's no Showtime no more. It's done. No HBO. It's done. Years before that, years and years and years and years before that, Tuesday Night Fight. I'm talking about here in the States. Tuesday Night Fights was done. Friday Night Fights on ESPN is done. Tuesday Night Fights on ESPN is done. And I know that decades ago, the ABC Sports and all that fights is done. We're just literally just in a new era now, man. I just got accepted as a fan, and seeing these fights out in Saudi is kind of head scratching, you know what I mean? But boy, we're getting old, man. Getting old. I never thought, if you'd have told me 15 years ago, man, that yeah, there'll be no more Showtime, no more HBO, no more Friday Night Fight. Like I would have looked at you like, man, please. But got to change with the changes, right? So, wow, man, I just would have never thought this, bro. I would have never thought this, man. But now the fights are in Saudi. Now we got to get fights on apps, and you got to change with the change. But and I see some fans like happy about it, like, yeah, no more HBO. It's like, man, that was my childhood, bro. Like, what you mean no more HBO, no more Showtime, man? Like, but uh, this set, not everybody, but some of the younger guys, fans that are getting into boxing now, guys that are 22 and 24, and bro, we just don't. I don't see what they see, man. Like some of the things that some of these younger fans, or just even newer fans, I don't. The some of the stuff that, and it's kind of off topic, but some of the stuff that ignites a fire for them as a fan, that are like hot topics and things to talk about, and they just not exciting to me. They're just not, man. That's why I don't upload as much as I really want to, man. But some of just the current events and the hot topics, they're just not hot topics to me. They're just not. I'd rather watch basketball, man. I'd rather, because you guys know I coach and I train basketball. I'd rather go do that, man, and just watch an old Larry Holmes fight. Like, seriously. Because I know I see comments like, Mr. Boxing, man, I know you big on heavyweights, but you need to talk about, Ryan Garcia and those fights, and what's the other kid's names? What's the little boy's name? Shakur and Tank Davis and got, bruh, none of that. I'll watch them fight for sure, but all the every day to day stuff, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't follow that stuff, man. But shouts out to for the young guys that like that type of stuff. But bro, I'm a HBO, Showtime, Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights, USA Today, Larry Holmes. You know what I mean? Oliver McCall, Lennox. I'm more of that type of guy, man, than I am with these current events, I guess. Uh, Let me see, man. Dio Lanuli, what's up, bro? He says Wilder was looking bad versus Washington, Spilka, Ortiz, even Duopa, Molina. This is nothing new. Yeah, he's shit. The Spilka fight actually had him losing that fight 4-3-1 until he put that NyQuil treatment on him. The Ortiz fight, I was at the second Ortiz fight, and like I said after the post fight, I'm sitting there. The section I was sitting in, bro, we all sit. I'm looking at my wife like, damn, I don't think Wilder want to run a damn round yet. And then boom, hit him with the right hand. So then the Washington fight, I had him losing those. So yeah, you're right, man. But yesterday, bro, at least in those fights, man, he seemed a little bit more springy, just more strong, and would snap a jab. He just seemed more like he had more physicality in him. Yes, he just didn't seem like that yesterday. Um, the J. Roos theory says I noticed that too. Even in the dressing room, Wilder's legs look like Snoop, look like Snoop Dogg legs. Shoulders and arms too. I don't think he was 214. I think he weighed. I think Wade holding weights in his hand wraps. Oh yeah, he did have hand wraps on. Oh, Dio, he said he called that Cabiel victory. He voted for Cabiel on the poll I put up. Yeah, Cabiel went to work, bro. Afro Jam says your keys to victory for Parker and Cabiel were accurate. Thank you, man. That's what I was the whole fight, especially that Cabiel fight. Boy, I was sitting there like, man, he did you listen to my video? Because he was doing everything that I was suggesting, man. He was piecing him up, dog. And then you could tell, hey, well, I ain't gonna lie though, man. I did see something on Instagram briefly today. It was Makhmadov getting surgery. Don't write this in stone, though, but I could have swore it was a recent video. The video that I saw is recent. I could be wrong, but you guys go on Instagram and you'll see it. He's getting surgery like on his arm or elbow or some shit like that. But I don't know if that was recent though. I should damn, but it's on Instagram, y'all. Y'all go check that out. Or go to Google and type in Makhmadov surgery or something. But I think he's getting surgery today or something like that. I could be wrong though. I should have, but I seen it briefly before I started going live. But either way though, he was getting surgery put on his ass yesterday with them body shots. So I ain't gonna take nothing away. Even if something did happen, I'm not gonna take nothing away from Cabiel because he had an excellent game plan. Yeah, I believe that too, Godfather. Wilder would have been knocked out that next round. Leo Donald, what's up, man? He says, salute. What a night of fights. Hopefully, Cavill can stay active. What a win last night. Wilder, AJ is dead. So could be AJ Herkovic, yeah. And he says, best AJ looked in a long time. We'll catch up on the live later. Okay, bro. Bruce Gas was good. Man, he says, I want to see more cars like this. Exactly. Um, the J. Bruce Theory says, I knew when Wilder said he was smoking now. I said he's done. Yeah, look, man. Just me when I start seeing fighters, like I said, man, start singing careers. I remember De La Hoya did this. Like when you start a singing career and just that type of stuff, man, it just usually it's towards the end of your career. It's going to be downhill from there, man. It really is. So, and I know Roy Jones used to make his own songs, and he would come to the ring. He'd have the little the, I remember I forgot what fight it was, man, but Roy would come to the ring. You remember like Janet Jackson in the Control video where she had the thing. Well, no, it was Bobby Brown in the My Prerogative when he had the little thing, the little headset on or whatever. I remember Roy used to come to the ring like that, rapping his own songs, but he was more in his prime. Like, but when you start doing this as you're aging, though, like, whatever it is, producing movies, short plays, or wherever the hell it is, writing books or songs, whatever, it lets me know that you're not as hungry as you used to be. Because when you come in hungry as hell, you ain't worried about making no damn rap songs or writing plays and screenplay. You trying to knock a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that Wilder no more. It's like I'm happy with my life. I think I want to fight again. Like once he starts talking like that, he's not 100% in. And hell, if my bank account looked like his right now, maybe I probably won't be 100% in either. But once it gets to that stage, though, man, I think you kind of want to look at retirement, man. Even if you can't punch as hard as he can, because I don't think just you wanting to be number one is there no more. Because at first, it was, when he was a title holder, it's about being a champion, being a champion. I really don't think he likes being a contender with no belt. you know, and I know he's making big money, man, but I just think it's just a different Wilder mentally. From the outside looking in, I'm not a part of his camp. All right. So any of you people new come to my video, you ain't a part of it. Yeah, I know I'm not a part of his camp. I'm not a part of none of these dudes' camps and never wanted to be a part of nobody's camp. Cause I want to be able to just say what the hell I want, man. Uh, yeah, J. Bruce Theory writing plays, and it's like once I start hearing, and bro, you know, man, you about old as me, or probably oh, like you know, bro. Once it starts getting down that road, these dudes ain't, they're not serious no more. They made their money, they taking care of their family. The goal that they had getting into this thing of ours called boxing, was to take care of their family. Like when Wilder got in, it was to take care of his daughter. You feel me? He surpassed. He taking care of his daughters and his sons, and now you know what I'm saying. So he surpassed that big mega fights. He's going to go down in history, whether you think he was overrated or he's one of the top heavyweights you ever saw. Whichever puzzle you want to put in there as far as him, that's gone now. It's just, you know. And like I said, I saw him getting his hands wrapped with a Gucci shirt on. You feel me? So Mark Blake, what's good, man? Xavier the boxing nerd, he says the only constant is change. You're right. You're talking about the HBO. Yeah, man. Like, bro, we getting older, man. Once I saw, like, damn, bro, ain't no more Showtime. Like, this is crazy, man. Just think, y'all, 15, 20. You could not never told me there ain't gonna be no more Showtime and HBO and Friday night fights, and man, all that shit's gone, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But it just like, hey, J was 3. No, I'm dead serious, bro. Did you see unless I'm tripping, unless they just showed them in the back, you know, they'll show the guys, they'll pan the camera to the back during fights of the guys that are going to main event. They'll pan the camera to their locker room, see what they're doing. And I could have swore, if I'm wrong, somebody say, nah, Mr. Boxing, you tripping. But I could have swore he had the Gucci thing on and he was getting his hands wrapped. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know, man. But I could have swore. St. Cruz, and were you watching yesterday, bro? Am I tripping or did I see him they start wrapping his hands when he had his Gucci shirt on? Heavy A says, might sound funny, but I think Wilder lady being around a lot has a negative effect on his discipline. Well, I know, you know, from the looks of it, from the outside looking in, because I'm not a part of this dude's camp. They look like they, you know, are in love like a motherfucker, man, and that's a beautiful thing. But and I get where you're going with it. Just far as like fighters, though, just being a fighter, like your lady can soften you up a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what women do. They do soften you up a little bit. And that could play into it. That could be a reason, you know. Nothing's off the table, man. He's a human, you know. He's a man just like us. Like we're all men and we all have soft spots and usually it's a woman. You know what I mean? So I think, and I'm just going off of my experience of being married and having a wife. And I'm just thinking, you know, I just think his mind's in a different place right now. I think it's just about family. It could be about her. I just think it's about him just living life and traveling, and there's nothing wrong with that type of stuff. I just think that's where his mind is at right now. I'm not gonna play too much of a psychiatrist, but I just think that's where his mind is at from the outside looking, and just listen to him talk. Um, Snake Tony Entertainment says the Wilder interview at the golf course when he said he didn't need boxing. That's when I knew. Yeah, when I started hearing him say stuff like that, instead of, yeah, I want to get in there, I want to break bones. I remember Wilder when he used to talk, I want to break bones. I want to, what did he say after the fight? One of those fights, man? Uh, I love breaking bones and cracking eye sockets and seeing people shiver on the ground. And look, I know going into this fight, he did say, call me Dr. NyQuil, I'm gonna put you to sleep. But it's not that same vigor that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm used to hearing Wilder talk with, though. Dio says every fighter is one good win from the top. Just yesterday, the media were questioning AJ mental health. Now look, St. Cruiser says sleeping in silk sheet to Deontay, too content to lose. Yeah, and that's another thing. After the fight, he uh he raising his hands. Okay, St. Cruiser says I saw the Gucci shirt, multimillionaire in Alabama. Deontay is happy, content, hunger gone. That's what I think. Damn, I just lost my train of thought, man. What I was gonna say, but hold on, let me see. Uh, Let me see. The J. Rules Theory says Mr. Boxing, no HBO on Showtime is wild. I'm 51. Yeah, you got years on me. That's crazy, bro, ain't it? Just crazy, man. Bruce Gas, what's up? He says, he used to say I wanted a body. You don't speak like that. Yeah, he don't speak like that no more. No more bodies. Nothing, man. He just keeps saying stuff like I'm at peace and all that type of stuff, which is a beautiful thing, man. Just living life. Now, as a human and as just a man, not counting sport, just as men, I don't have a problem with what he said, but just as a boxing fan and him being a boxer, don't sound the same. Afro Jam brought up a good point, man. He says his weight, how is he still weighing the same that he was at 25 that he is at 38 now? And look, and I think when he went up to that weight against Fury in that third fight, I don't he didn't fight a bad fight, and I think he gassed because he gave everything he got with his jab. Like he was putting everything on the damn jab in those beginning rounds against Fury in that third fight. And I think him just fighting and just getting into a slugfest got him tired. But I thought that was I didn't think he looked bad with that weight on him. It fit him well, you know what I mean? Um Official AJ was good, bro. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so I see Jay Russo. He thought he won the fight. And I'm sitting there like Wilder thinking he really won. Like, bro, you didn't win that fight, bro. Like, that's some delusion right there. Like, bro, you didn't win that fight, man. It wasn't one of those like nail biters where it's like the first Fury fight where it's like, damn, could it be? I don't know, man. I think Fury probably. Nah, this was clear. And for Wilder to pump his fist like he won, it's like, and then you're content with, and then let's say Wilder, okay, let's just say for instance the judge had it a draw or something, or like, come on, Deontay, you really didn't think you won that fight, bro. Not that I expected him to walk around sad with his head down and pout. No, I'm not saying that. Still keep your head up strong. Shit, you don't want to got to get in there. You know what I mean? But not pump your fist like you won. No, I mean that was kind of overboard. But nah, man, the dangerous Deontay, he's not content with trying to scrape by and think he won these type of fights, or he's trying to knock people the hell out, man. So he just looked very weak, depleted in there. That's pretty much it, man. I'm not gonna harp on Deontay too much, man. I'm not trying to down the dude. I'm just telling you what I saw yesterday. He just looked weak, depleted. Now where do they go from here? Look, I would love to see Parker get his rematch, man, with Joe Joyce or Andy Ruiz. Or no, I'm sorry. Um, I know Andy Ruiz wants his rematch against Parker because he was out there yesterday too. But no, I'm talking about Parker getting his rematch against Joyce or White. I think he has the ability to beat those dudes. The thing about Joyce is you got to get, once you get off on him, you got to get all the way out the way. The mistake Parker made in that first Joyce fight was he'll let his hands go boom, 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 and then he'll take a little step back and then Joyce is right on him. So you got to come in and just clinch the hell out of him, or you got to get all the way out of there. You can't get your shots off and then take a little half step back and remain mid range. That's Joyce wheelhouse. He's gonna take those, he's gonna eat them punches, he's gonna come right at you. You know what I mean? And Parker isn't as heavy puncher as Zhang is. He's not as big, doesn't pack as much of a punch that Zhang's packed. You know what I mean? But styles make fights, and I definitely think he can probably knock out Dillian White now. And one of those knockdowns was BS when he fought White. I think White hit him with an elbow or some shit, and they counted as or headbutt or elbow, and they counted shit as a knockdown. And look, man, Parker's gonna go down in this era as one of the top heavyweights of this era, man. This was a very good win for Joseph Parker, despite what Wilder looked like, just having that name on his resume. This is the same era of guys. This is the same era. It's not like he's some young buck that's just catching Wilder at the end. No, these guys were all being talked about at the even though Wilder's older, these guys were all being talked about in that same new wave of heavyweights back in 2015, 2014, 2016, 2017, when these guys both had titles. They're all getting talked about. So this is a very good win for Joseph Parker. And to this day, like Deontay and Deontay's Wilder voice, I know y'all gonna trip. Some of y'all might log off, but I still think that Parker and Joshua fight, I had it a draw. I had it 6 rounds to 6, man. I did a whole like breakdown in front of my heavy bag, showing you exactly why I had it a draw. I just didn't think either guy was doing enough. Even though AJ was stepping to him, he was using that front foot pressure where I'm gonna step to you, but then he'll step to him and then miss punches. And then Parker will move out the way. And then when they got close, the ref was breaking it right away. Didn't seem like he wanted Parker to do no inside work. And I thought there was parts in the fight where Parker was doing a little bit more. I had that fight a draw, man. I know some people had it 9-3 AJ or whatever, but that fight was a draw to me. But besides the fact though, AJ got the decision. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Parker was he wasn't as aggressive as he should have been. And that was one thing going into this fight that I had a concern about is Parker being so damn nice. And yesterday he came out very aggressive, or he came out aggressive. I don't say very, but he was very aggressive yesterday. Um, yes, Parker did have 4 fights, man. He stayed very active. Now it wasn't 4 fights against like world beaters, but it was still 4 training camps. And he just lived the life of a damn fighter, not the life of an R&B singer, not the life as a glamour star, the life of a fighter this past year. You feel me? So it's a big difference in mindsets, and he's still hungry. I don't think Wilder is as hungry as he used to be because of the things that he's acquired in his life now. Um, Let me see here. Official AJ says Fury, Usyk, Hergovic, and AJ probably going to be occupying the belts. Um, I'm curious to see what happens after the first Fury and Usyk fight, if they're going to go into a rematch. Because if they do, then I think that's where Hergovic will have to fight whoever the next highest rated contender in the IBF. And I think it's Joshua. Am I tripping y'all, or is it AJ? I don't have those rankings right in front of me. Damn. Ah, I don't have them right in front of me, but I think it's AJ. Is it AJ? Or Martin Bukolia? I don't have them in front of me, man. I should have pulled them up. The Texan says, where do you think Joyce falls into all of this, being that he has 2 wins over Parker and Dubois? Parker lost that one real bad, but Joyce had probably taken a lot more with his style. That's a good question, the Texan. I could see Dubois and Joyce happening again, or Parker. I think. Look, even though he's beating them 2 guys, he was getting some leather put on him, dog. Like he was getting real leather put on his head. You know what I'm saying? So I can see him rematching those guys. Um, but you can throw him in there with anybody, man. With Joyce, you can throw him in there with anybody. Uh, Shit. Do you guys think Fabio Warley can handle a Joe Joyce right now? I could see them throwing because I know Chisura's dying for another fight, right? I could see them throwing him in there with Chisura, but I think Parker has a good chance against Joyce and Dillian White. I'm gonna keep bringing that up, man. I would like to see that. Okay, so official AJ says right now the top 2 in the IBF is AJ. Okay, that's what I thought it was, AJ, because I did see that yesterday. I just don't have the rankings put up right now, but yeah, man, I can see Herkovic versus AJ, and that'd be a good one. The J. Roos Theory says Wilder should box Joyce next. Man, from what I seen yesterday, bro, I see Joyce walking through Deontay Wilder. I just off of physicality alone. And I know Joyce walks in, but I mean, look, Joyce is slow and he doesn't move his head all that great. But he's not just an idiot either, though, man. He's going to see just a plain Jane right hand coming. It's not being disguised. It doesn't have the snap on it. Again, I'm just going off of what I seen tonight. And what I saw tonight, I just see Joyce evading one right hand. Even if he gets caught with it, he's still going to come and fight. Wilder doesn't have an inside fighting game. He's not good against the ropes. And yes, he did knock Kalinius out when he was kind of being pressed a little bit. But I think Joyce has a better chin than Helenius right now. And I see him just mauling Deontay Wilder right now. Now, does this thing that I think Deontay loses to every single fight? No, but like the top guys, yes, I think. And look, I think Wilder's lucky he wasn't in there with somebody that fights on the inside like an Andy Ruiz. Because Wilder reverted to like, when he was on the inside, bro, he was like resorting to like smacking. like, did, like, did y'all see that, man? Like he has he just resorted to like slapping with like him and Parker was clenched up and he was like slapping him with like the palm part, like smacking him, and then like he was like hammer punching him too, man. It was weird. So I don't know, man. That shit didn't look good, man. Um DGO 82 was good, bro. The Xavier the Boxing Nerd says, well, hold on, let me go up here. First rounds on me, okay, I read that. No, he says, what's good, Mr. Boxing? I felt the same. Wilder seems like he hasn't been committed and almost like he's content with walking away. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. D.W. Newey says, I want to see Miller versus Wilder. That's a sellout in New York. Hey, that'd be a good one, bro. I would definitely love to see that fight, and I don't know who will win that. I really don't. From what I saw yesterday, I don't know. I don't know. Xavier the Boxing Nerd says it's refreshing to see someone like Parker have 4 fights in 1 year when there are fighters like Barroso who had 30 fights throughout this. Yeah. Uh, but CD Oobly Nooley, I know what you're saying about that polite coffee. Hey, I know we don't rate polite coffee high, man, but there's some things that he can do in there well, you know what I mean? But shit, Worley looked okay against David Adelaide though. He was piecing him up. Yeah, man, he was throwing hammer fists in there, bro. And he was like slapping. It's just like no, like it's like hard because I think because of his arms are so long, it's hard for him to turn over punches when he's in close. That's why you got to study some Riddick Bowe, man. Bowe had long ass arms too for a heavyweight, and he would be able to get off inside work by just turning his hips and dropping his shoulders and really digging up in there with shots. Wilder stands straight up, even when he was landing when they were clinching up, he just stands straight and he just slaps with his arm. He not really an inside, well, he's not an inside fighter. The Celtics says Wilder should maybe hire Sugar Hill. I don't think he will hire him. I know you're just suggesting that, but I don't think he'll hire him, man. I think there's too much of a history between them two with the Fury situation. I don't think he'll hire him at all. But I know that's just your suggestion, man. But at this point, man, I don't look, man. This I see a lot of people getting on Malik Scott, and I don't think Malik Scott was teaching him to move around the ring like that. For again, like I said, I wasn't in their camp. I wasn't there for the sparring sessions. I'm just going off of what I saw, the stuff they will post on social media or the stuff that was presented to us leading up into camp. He was, from what I saw, he was trying to show him how to use an authoritative jab, let that right hand go behind it, bring a left hook, step out of range. Not hop and jump and hop and jump and hop and jump with your hands low. I wasn't seeing that. I just think that Wilder has a certain way of fighting that has got him here. And I just think that's how he wants to fight. And I think in this fight, I think he started to respect Joseph Parker's power. That's another thing we forget. Wilder's human too, man. Like, shit, I think he started to respect it. I just think in those Fury fights, man, he was just so pissed off and had so much to prove. And he really wanted to try to kill Tyson Fury. With the way he was punching, man, he was punching with, I mean, he was swinging from Alabama with them shots, boy. Like, he was really trying to put a hurting. And in this one, he just seemed, it just didn't look, I don't know, man, like he was trying to hurt nothing. It looked like he was, trying to hope and pray that Parker came in right at the perfect time and catch him. He wasn't really like stepping to him aggressive. I didn't see none of that. I didn't see that stepping to him and walking him down with that, with that stick and then bringing that right hand back and then stepping out, but staying right there at the same time. And I didn't see that. I think he got tagged a few times from Parker and he kind of respected his power. And then he just tried to wait for the perfect opportunity. Instead of trying to create the perfect opportunity, it looked like he was just waiting for it. Like, come on, Parker, come on, let me just, me paw and paw and right hand, oh, miss, bring it back, okay. That's a lot different from the Deontay I saw against like Stavern, like when he stepped in that second fight, when he stepped in with that right hand. or the Brazil fight when he stepped in with that right hand. He wasn't stepping in. That fight against Ortiz, he stepped in with a right hand. He didn't step in or nothing. But that's just what I saw, man. I mean, maybe you guys think different. Maybe people that are around their camp can tell me different from just what I saw from the clips and highlights, man. It didn't seem like Malik Scott was trying to teach him what he did yesterday. I didn't. That's not what I got from those clips. And official AJ, man, I'm gonna say this again because I don't think you were here when I said this. But did you see when Wilder was getting his hands taped when they panned the cameras back to the locker room and Wilder had like the Gucci shirt on and was getting his hands taped? Yeah, once I saw that, man, I was like, ooh, man, we wearing Gucci now. Like, it's just the mindset of a fighter, man. That doesn't come off as like a hungry fighter anymore when you're wearing designer, getting your hands wrapped. Again, that could mean nothing. It could mean a lot. It's just me. It's just me going off what I heard Marvin Hagler say back in the day about, getting out of bed, getting out of the silk sheets or silk pajamas. That it kind of put me in that mindset because I'm just an old school fan that listened to old school fighters from back in the day. And when I saw that, man, I was kind of scratching my head. I looked at my wife and she was just looking too, but we were like, I don't know about that. But let me see, man. I'm read a few more, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Let y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. He says, official AJ says Malik knows he's not going to teach Wilder crazy new shit. Malik just working on the jab, and I know that 100% being friends with Malik and others. Yeah, and Wilder didn't use it at all, bro. He wasn't using that jab at all, or at least not using it effectively and with some authority. He was kind of just pawing and pawing, as if like Wilder was going, or as if Parker was going to run in there with his chin up in the air. And I think that the way Parker went about avoiding the right hand was something that caught Wilder and those guys off guard. And I see one of you leaving in the comments section about Wilder should have came with an uppercut, but that's not really his punch like that. I know he landed that uppercut against Ortiz in that second fight, and I think the doable fight he started landing some good uppercuts, but that's not really the shot he goes to like that. You feel me? So, and him trying to wing uppercuts too is leaving you in danger to get countered. You know what I'm saying? Especially if that's not a punch you're used to really throwing like that. You can get counter throwing the damn uppercut. But it was there because of the way Parker was avoiding the right hand. Parker didn't do what he usually does, and that's drop his hands and kind of turn his head as you're throwing the right hand and kind of making it whiz by a little bit and turning it like Ali used to do back in the day. He didn't do that this fight. In them other fights, he was doing that because I was breaking down the film. In this fight, he decided to put the high guard up and just duck. He just ducked on it, and that slight adjustment right there threw Wilder's game plan off to me. The game plan that he did have, which was try to catch you with a right hand as you're trying to back away from it. At least that's what I saw. Official AJ brought up a old wrestling Dusty Rhodes saying he'll never wear a Rolex until he wins the belt. Man, he used to drop some hell of a promos, man, Dusty Rhodes. Official AJ says Walter's definitely relaxed now. Yeah, he's making R&B songs and producing and all that. And like I said, man, I remember De La Hoya started doing that. Once I see that, it lets me know that you're content with your life and you're not as hungry. Um, Wilder's chain in the air was ridiculous. An amateur, I never seen him do that before. Unbiased heavyweight rankings was good, man. He says, what a card, fam. Good to see you live. I appreciate that, bro. Good to see you in the comments section. The J. Bruce Theory says, Mickey from Rocky would told Wilder to call it a day. DGO says, once I saw Wilder's team making him bench press heavy for Fury fight, I knew they had no clue about boxing. Yeah, and I think that was them, just trying to bulk him up and get him stronger, and people have their opinions of how you can do that. And I think that they just thought the way to, bulk him up was to go bench press. You know what I mean? So Derek Winston says, what's going on? Salute. Nah, man, just breaking down these fights. I'm about to hop off in a minute here though, man, but just breaking down the fights, Derek. Unbiased says, chillin', he says, when's the last time you seen a heavyweight card like that? Man, I can't think off the top of my head. If I do, it was probably one of the Don King cards, maybe like the early 2000s when King kind of stopped doing them, but probably a early 2000s card. I'm sure there was one, I can't think top of my head, but I'm sure there was one where we had like Rockman and all them dudes on it. Callie Meehan and Chris Bird and Jamil McCline. You know what I'm saying? I know, I'm sure there was one that Don King did, one of his last ones in the early 2000s. I just can't think. But yeah, you have to go back to them Don King days. Now, I will say, man, Eddie Hearn did a good job when he was bringing Joshua along. He did a good job of having, two or three good heavyweight fights on there. But this one right here, where there's what, six of them, you know what I mean? Like this is crazy. This is like Don King, man. So probably back in them days. Yeah, JD's is in the camp, AJ, because I seen him yesterday. Once it started getting down, like once they knew that they were lose, like once, well, Wilder thought he won the fight after because he was pumping. At least after, at least in the ring, he was pumping his fist like he thought he won. At least that's what I took from him pumping his fist. But when I saw that Malik Scott and JD's knew that he was losing on the cards, and JD's, at least the round that I saw, I'm not saying every round, but the round that I saw, in between, it was JD's that was giving instruction or telling them, hey man, you need to do such and such, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I'm biased. That's what I said, man. And I know people joke a lot, and I'm not here to make jokes and all that, man. But I know people joke a lot about his legs throughout the year. He got skinny legs, skinny legs, skinny legs. But yesterday they looked even slimmer, and that's concerning. Like he just, I don't know if it was the trunks, I don't know if it was the lighting. They looked even slimmer, and then the muscles, because I always thought that he generated his power from his torque when he turns, and his shoulders and his back. That's what I thought a lot of his power came from, was his back muscles and them shoulders. And even that didn't look as defined, and it just, his body just didn't look right. And with his legs looking like I thought they looked yesterday, with even slimmer, his balance was way off, way off. Even when, not just when he throws his right hand, he gets off balance. Even when he's just moving back, trying to get out the way of punches, he looked off balance. Like sometimes his feet will come together, and then he'll be like straight up in the air, and then he'll fall a little bit off balance, a little bit, and catch his balance, and then, but his hands aren't in good defensive positions to, catch shots or anything. Uh, exactly. Yeah, just moving any direction, he looked wobbly. Yeah, man, he just looked. It didn't look good. Deep Blue says, "Damn, if a competent coach got a hold of Wilder after the Olympics, Wilder could have been much different." You know what, man? And I'm gonna end it with this. It's funny, bro. I remember I used to be on, and this is right after the Olympics. What is that website? They changed the name, but it was called eastsideboxing.com back in like '05, '04. I think they call it, is it is it boxing 24/7 now? But anyways, eastsideboxing.com, bro. I used to be in them forums this is before YouTube. I used to be in them forums in like '03, '04, '05, '06, '07, '08, right up until like '08, '09. And we used to be in there talking. I remember we used to bring Deontay Wilder up. Not that he was some popular fighter, but you know me, I love the heavyweights. So back then, it was the Klitschko era. So we're talking about American heavyweights. So we're talking about Tony Thompson and all them types of guys. We brought up Wilder, and I remember a lot of the guys I used to converse with back and forth would say, "Man, I think he'll probably be a good cruiserweight." Trying to kind of put him in the same category as what's dude's name? USS Cunningham. We thought he would be like more of a cruiser. So when he kept it at heavyweight, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know how far he'll make it. So he definitely went further than I thought he would at heavyweight. But yeah, if he would have had a chance to get like somebody like Emmanuel Stewart, and I know Emmanuel worked with him briefly in those Klitschko camps, and Emmanuel Stewart's opinion. I don't know if you guys have seen that video, man, where Emmanuel was talking about, this was a Klitschko camp years ago, y'all. It's when Emmanuel was still alive. It was years ago. And it's on YouTube. And some of you may already seen it, but Emmanuel Stewart was saying, right now it's the Klitschko era. He was like, but man, there's guys that you guys need to look out for that are going to be champions, are going to be somebody you need to look out for in the future. And the three, he actually brought up three names. He brought up two, well, two for sure. He brought up Wilder and Fury. So Emmanuel Stewart saw it before any of us saw it. He knew those two dudes were going to be champions. Now, whether you think, oh, this guy's overrated, or that guy's a fraud, or that guy's a cheater, you got Emmanuel Stewart saw it. Regardless of what you think about them two individuals, he saw Fury wanted being a champion, and he saw Wilder being a champion. Period. So whether you think this guy's a cheater or this guy's a fraud, he didn't fight nobody, he saw it. Then he also brought up, I think it was Robert Helenius, and was it David Price? I think it was Helenius or Price. So his prediction wasn't all that good. I think it was Helenius, but he got Wilder and Fury correct, and that's crazy, man. That was like pinpoint, and that was him seeing them years ago, years and years ago. You know what I mean? So I just think he saw that dogged toughness in Wilder, and he could punch, and he was long and wiry with the left hand. I think he probably has some, you know, he probably slightly reminded him of Thomas Hearns in some areas. And I just think he just loved just the boxing IQ of Tyson Fury. That dude been fighting since he was literally a little kid, man. So, but Emmanuel got that right though, man. But hey, y'all, was it Christmas Eve today, man? So y'all enjoy y'all Sunday, man. I'm not gonna do this for too long, man. I appreciate the people that showed up. Um, that's my opinion about the card, man. Y'all be easy. I'm gone.